What's up, everybody? This is TheWon, aka Jodecideion on YouTube, and I'm bringing you part 2 of episode 28, Out from the Side of My Neck, Game No Evil. The deadly sins of the video game industry. What are they? And how can we make sure they don't destroy or hurt this great hobby of ours? In part 1, I went over some of the current and future issues of gaming that could be seen as deadly sins of our industry, starting with milking, shovelware, and mobile gaming. Now we are here for the final 4 problems of gaming, to finally give us our 7 deadly sins. Our next deadly sin of gaming is digital distribution. Digital distribution is the practice of delivering content without the use of physical media, typically by downloading via the internet directly to a consumer's device. I realized throughout my first video, and even in this one, I mentioned the option to download new content from characters to levels and update patches as a possible step to handle other sins like milking. Digital distribution should never be the only way to deliver products to consumers. In my personal opinion, digital distribution should always be partnered with physical media. Game developers want to move in this direction because of the money they can save when it comes to publishing and marketing their products. Also, with no need to create physical copies or packaging, they save even more money, which would probably make games become cheaper in price for the consumer, in the same way they are on the mobile gaming platforms. Despite the possible benefits of it, the one factor that makes it a deadly sin is the losing of ownership for the consumer. Without having in hand a physical personal copy of software or video game, the consumer never owns the product, and that can become a real problem, depending on how the software developers decide to handle the situation. Nintendo has always been behind when it comes to digital distribution, just now jumping on board with the Virtual Console, independent WiiWare, and DSiWare downloadable games. The main issue that gamers have is not being able to transfer their downloadable games to extra consoles, whether it be home console or portable system, without the help from Nintendo. Sony and Microsoft has a slightly better system that offers gamers a limited number of transfer opportunities, just in case it needs to be done because of a hardware change or failure. Gamers don't even have the ability to sell their own purchased products, where if it was a physical copy, he or she could trade, sell, or give away without the need of a third party being involved. At this time, there is no perfect plan where consumers can gain complete ownership and software developers still have a safety net from file sharing and illegal file copying. The next deadly sin is used games. This is more of a sin to developers, but has become a small blessing for consumers. Software developers get none of the extra sales generated when it comes to used games. But then, nor should they. When a consumer sells a product they already purchased and paid for in full, and they decide to sell it to someone else, the creator, the originator, shouldn't receive any retribution for that. Still, in an industry that is all about making goods and selling them to consumers, competing with another market that is cheaper but offers the same quality content is very dangerous. It's like battling the mobile market, but the games are just as good and cheaper. With the price of games and the increase of the amount of games on the market each year, consumers can't possibly purchase everything they want when it's released to the market. Companies like GameStop, whose entire business model is to purchase and sell used games, takes advantage of this fact, and software companies lose possible sales to the used game market when consumers can buy them as soon as possible. As a consumer who takes advantage of this used game market, there's really no way for me to declare used games as being something that is wrong. My suggestion for developers is to get back to making great games, making products that offer unique, quality experiences that gamers feel they can't part with. Release less games on a monthly to yearly scale. This will allow gamers to take a better advantage of their gaming budget. The more games bought during the first week, the better chances of gamers not purchasing used games later. Price reduction is a way to handle the situation. How about lowering initial launch prices or selling discounted versions later? Offer gamers more incentive to purchase your game on launch day by giving them collector's items or exclusive content. Using several of these tactics all can go towards persuading a consumer from purchasing a brand new silk copy or a used copy game. Just that much harder and sway them towards your side. The next deadly sin of gaming is video game journalism. This has taken a turn for the worse in recent years. Video game journalists are the reporters of the video game industry. They are also the spokesman for the gaming community. They are the direct line from consumer to developer. They speak for us and to us, providing the community with vital information that help us improve our community and culture. Now it seems that these people can't be trusted. Gone are the days of magazines that had only 60 or so pages to provide new information, entertain readers, promote the culture, and advertise current and future product. Magazines were huge investments for businesses, so pleasing their user base was their main focus. Back then, it was about having the most facts, but still connecting with the reader in a professional and personal way. In the age of the internet, everyone and anyone can create a video game related site or blog. No more professional writers hired for their degrees earned or training in their craft. Now, 13-year-old kids are allowed to broadcast their opinions off as news. Fanboys are in charge of sites that parade themselves as being providers of fair and balanced sources of information. It's really hard to trust a review from a site when that site is covered with nothing but advertisement from the publisher of the game in question. Add in the fact that reviewers just copy and pasting work from other sources, not even playing or finishing the game to give out accurate information. These same sites have journalists who display their biases towards a console, certain games, and particular genres regularly and without shame. Who can we really trust for an honest opinion on gaming matters? These sites are rewarded with free copies of games, trips to review the games, and placed under review embargoes by the software developers. Those same embargoes that hide facts from consumers about the game having major flaws, those flaws that will cause consumers not even to purchase the product. Yet, with the relationship between developer and gaming journalists, they're pushed back in the corner. So unexpected consumers get taken advantage of. Going back to the subject of gaming sites receiving free merchandise and trips, how many times have you gotten something for free and maybe were not as critical about it since it was free, compared to paying for something and fully expressing your pleasure or displeasure with it? With this type of relationship going on between journalists and game developer, I honestly feel that some, or maybe most, journalists can be bought. Their opinions being swayed towards a certain company that provide them with the best gifts. The only way to get past all of this is to regulate gaming journalism. We need a system that only counts journalists who have earned the right to be critics. I'm tired of seeing a review from an underground fan site allowed to affect a game's overall Metacritic average from some no-name author who just happens to fall within the requirement limits. I want an across-the-board rating system that covers games made for every and each system, judging the game by the standards of that system it is created on. Why discredit a Wii game on graphics because it doesn't look like the PS3 version? Of course it's not going to look like the PS3 version. They are two different machines with different capabilities. When it comes to reviewing video games, every game should be played to its completion before that review is displayed. That review should be released in a timely fashion before the launch of that game. I want sites that say they're about gaming as a whole to actually be about gaming as a whole, instead of having the gaming versions of affirmative action and quotas. We hate Nintendo, but we have to cover them since they are a part of the gaming industry. There's nothing wrong with fan or console particular sites, but their opinions, their reviews, shouldn't value more than a site that covers everything across the board. How many times in the past have you seen a commercial for a particular game, and in that commercial, the reviews listed are from sites that have something to do, that have a bias towards that game or the console it is on? Killzone 3, the official PlayStation magazine or site, give it a 10 out of 10. Of course they're going to do that. And for those same sites that cater to gaming across the board, that covers every and each platform, I want the same respect given to one platform delivered across the board to all the platforms. Last, but the most important issue of all, I want just the facts. No more sensational headlines for the sake of hits. Get rid of every bit of daily information has to have a personal editorial from a journalist. I want accountability from gaming journalists when it comes to the images they promote and the behavior they display. These same journalists who have been called upon by other medias to represent our thoughts on non-gaming matters, who now are able to branch off into other careers. Yet, by their actions, I actually have doubt on how much gaming, the culture, and the community really matters to them. Why does G4, a gaming network, has more non-gaming shows than actual shows about gaming? Who hire people who know nothing about the media, with those same people portraying the negative stereotypes that are placed upon us. Video game journalism is a real problem right now because it has an effect on the soul of gaming, aka the community. They influence fanboyism and promote social divide amongst gamers. They spread propaganda and cover up major issues that keep consumers unaware of important facts. Once consumers feel they can truly trust the people whose jobs are to keep us educated, only then can we take on other gaming matters. Clean up the culture by getting better, more responsible representatives. The seventh and deadliest sin of gaming is piracy. Piracy is stealing, plain and simple. There's no way to justify it or even try to make light of it. When you take a game without paying for it, you are stealing. From the companies who published the game to the developers who created it, and all the supporting staff members involved. Piracy is beyond a gaming issue. It's a moral issue. Because of that, it will always be a problem in the gaming industry. This generation, it has gone to another level, and it seems to be out of control, only due to the ease of hackers being able to hack and modify firmware on the current systems. Now that gaming hardware has gone from being built with moving parts and rely on software to operate, there will always be people who desire not to pay for their hobby. There will always be an option to purchase mod chips and ROM SD cards. So instead of trying to fight piracy, how about give consumers less reason to want to? Here are some of the needs of current gamers. If gaming companies listen to them, gamers will least likely want to steal. Gaming companies. When it comes to designing your hardware, make sure it has options like video and audio playback, memory storage that is removable, backwards compatibility with older content from past systems, region-free playability of games from other countries. This may sound crazy, but even try to work with the homebrew community. If Nintendo would have accepted the proposal from the homebrewers, they could have worked together and prevented piracy from happening on the Wii, but still letting homebrewers be creative. Sony in the beginning offered gamers the option to use other software on their PS3 when they sold the original model with Linux. They later got cold feet and tried to remove the feature from systems already sold, without even providing the owners any form of collateral. The rest is history. Microsoft has opened their arms to hackers and their Kinect device. With every new hack created, they will try to use it in future content. The industry's current plan is to fight piracy with online integration of games, which they control like dictators. Nintendo's plan with the current 3DS is to send out updates that will render your hardware useless if it's been found you're using illegal software. Instead of fighting that only leads to an all-out war, how about trying some diplomacy instead? There you have it, the 7 deadly sins of gaming: milking, shovelware, mobile gaming, digital distribution, used games, gaming journalism, and piracy. Only by working together as a community can we stop them before they cast us into gaming hell. This is TheWon, I'll see you next time. Peace.